All right, starting off with a warm-up today, we are finding the inverse. This is a different notation for it, but this notation right here means to find the inverse. So do those 2 steps that we talked about yesterday. Pause your video, try it out, and see how you do. All right, now that you did that, you should have put y here, because that's really y equals. And you're going to switch your x and y. So x is here, and y is now over here. And we're going to solve for y. So I would have first subtracted 2 on both sides, leaving me with x minus 2 equals the cube root of y minus 1, excuse me. To get rid of that cube, you're going to have to cube both sides. Now, really, if something is cubed, it means it's times itself 3 times. I'm not going to make you multiply that all out. You can leave that as just x minus 2 cubed. That's okay. And we're left with y plus 1. And just finish it off by subtracting 1 on both sides to get that y alone. So x minus 2 cubed minus 1 is our inverse. So we've been finding these inverse functions and practicing that, but if you compose a function and its inverse, the result should equal x. What does that mean? So to verify if something is an inverse to something else, you should be able to plug it into each other and get the answer of x. Let's do this and watch what happens, and then we'll practice it. So first, let's find the inverse, what they just said, this weird notation that we talked about. So right now they gave us y equals 2x plus 5. Let's find that inverse, switch those x and y's, and find the inverse equation. So subtract 5 on both sides. And let's divide by 2. So x minus 5 divided by 2. So we have, let's call them f and g, just so we can determine. So f was that very original equation they gave me. And g is going to be that inverse, what we just found. The x minus 5 divided by 2. We're going to plug each of those into each other. If these are true inverses, both of them should end up with the answer of x when we plug them into each other. So the first one I'm going to take the equation f, and I'm going to plug g into it. So I'm going to put 2, and instead of the x, I'm going to put the equation g, and I'm going to simplify it. So right here, since it's divided by 2 times the 2, those cancel. And then these also cancel, leaving us with an answer of x. Now you have to check the other way. So we're going to do that same thing, but now we're starting with g, and we're going to plug f into it. We should also end up with x if these are true inverses. So I'm going to take g, that fraction, and instead of that x in the front, I'm going to put 2x plus 5. Now look here. Right here I see these 5's can cancel, leaving me with 2x divided by 2. The 2's also can cancel, leaving me with x. So these 2 equations are true inverses because of that right there. So this is just a little note to yourself. If you take the equation f and plug in g and it equals x, and do it the other way, take the equation g, plug in f, and it equals x, those 2 equations are inverses. They said, are they? Absolutely, yes they are. They have to both equal x when you do that in order to be inverses. So let's practice that one more time on the next slide. Okay, so let's check if these are inverses of each other. So I'm going to do f plug in g of x, and I'm going to do g plug in f of x. Now it has to work. It has to give us x for both. If one of them ends up not being x, then we know they are not inverses. So let's see. I'm going to take 1/4, and instead of that x, I'm going to plug in 4x minus 7 plus 7. So if I distribute this, 1/4 times 4x would be x. 1/4 times 7. If you need help in your calculator to do that, please do so. It will give you a -7/4, and then this stays a 7. I was thinking these were going to cancel, but now doing that, they do not cancel. So I don't get the answer of x. So they are not inverses. We don't even need to do it the other way because it didn't work on this one. So head on over to 5.6 worksheet number 2 and do some practice on inverses.